Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and I'm going to be reading your tea leaves today. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio happens to be your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, this is a message for you. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, what do you have in store for Scorpio? Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And I hope we have a good message for you today. All right. And also, if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm. It helps me get it out to more people. And if you do enjoy the reading, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications about new videos coming out and just so I can maybe stay in your feed. And other than that, I would just love to hear your comments. I'd like to hear how you're doing. I'd like to hear your thoughts, your input. I really enjoy reading the stuff that you all write. Okay, so I'm getting the impression that this is going to be a love reading. We have a nice little heart here right in the center. I think that you're very heart focused or love focused this time around, Scorpio. And I want to point out this one over here. And this is in the area that is the physical, but also into this space of the mental, psyche, things that are on your mind that are really setting the tone for you right now. And let me see if I can get this light just a little. I need to maybe move my table over here. Okay, maybe I can get this guy. I'm so sorry. I had it set up before where I felt like the light was a lot better. I don't know what's changed. I think it's because I'm doing my videos a little later sometimes and I'm not getting as much natural light. Okay, so I think that's a little bit better. Not as many shadows, it doesn't look like. Okay, so we have a heart and a heart. And both are in places that I think that this is going to be a romantic interest. This is a focus of love, partnership, domestic, dating, and somebody I think that you really, really are into. I think that this is somebody who's been on your mind a lot. These hearts are both very well formed, and this one has a little bit of a rough edge on it. But I think overall, I'm seeing that there is a good connection. There seems to be an equal amount of love coming from both directions. I don't think this is like an unrequited kind of love. Sometimes I wonder if these are in positions where the person is really on your mind a lot and they're not formed very well, it makes me think that maybe this is not a shared love, or it's kind of something where you might be a little more interested than the person that you are interested in. I don't see that in this though. I think that this is a healthy and ongoing friendship, partnership, relationship, and it makes sense that this would be the focus. If everything looks like it's going pretty well, it would be the focus, in your mind, in your heart, and in your psyche there. So I want to look at some of these other formations because these are kind of interesting. And this one looks so much like a cow's skull. I'm just trying to the skull of cattle, right? A steer maybe. And this one, I love this I love seeing these skulls like this. I know that it can be a little off-putting. It's not a human skull, so that's, you know, usually a little bit of a better sign. Although those are not always bad either. But this cattle, the skull of the cattle. Now, I think, for me anyhow, this is always a sign of great strength and power. It makes me think of, you know, the Southwest. But also just like a very heavily masculine, very earthy kind of person. Somebody who works very hard, somebody who is in constant movement, and this doesn't mean that it's an older person, but I get this feeling that this is somebody who has seen a lot of life, has seen a lot of things in life, has gone through ordeals in life. This is not a young, fresh, naive, wide-eyed kind of energy. Not at all. This is a more weathered and more tempered because of the things that they have been through. Okay. And I think that this is probably relating to you. This is not somebody who is close to you or you know, related to the scenario or this person that you're in love with. I think that this is more of a direct connection to the person that I'm reading for. And I get this almost kind of feeling of weariness to some degree. I get this imagery of working out like on the plains or in the high desert, and just kind of that feeling of like having been in the sun for many years, you know, and just kind of a little dried out, but still just with powerful hands, powerful eyes, deep in spirit, a good amount of transmuted knowledge into wisdom, experience transmuted into wisdom. Somebody who is maybe a little bit stoic, has been through some things, okay? And I think that, yeah, I get this impression of, you know, a little bit of heart weariness, but just in general life, you know, you've been traveling for a long time, okay? And I get this feeling that you don't know how to rest. You don't know how to slow down. Kind of almost like this belief that, like how they say if a shark stops moving, they die. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard that. And so I get this feeling that you feel like if you slow down, if you stop living, doing, working, creating, taking care of your family, all of the things, all of your responsibilities, if you slow down, if you take too much time to rest, to do the things that you might want to do for yourself, or kind of like these distant wishes in the back of your mind, that you will almost like cease to exist. The meaning will be gone, or you won't be living up to the standards that you have for yourself. Okay, and I think that's a really, I feel like that maybe is kind of an adopted belief just from the way maybe you grew up. You know, people that were important to you, mentors, and they kind of, you know, instilled in you this hard work ethic, okay? This real intense need to be always creating, providing, and, you know, just, you don't, you know, you don't sleep until you're dead kind of vibe, okay? I want to see what else is kind of Let's see. And now I've seen in here a couple of V's. So I think this is important. There's a V there. And kind of a big V here. And that one's a little more chunky. But because of their positions, we have one very much in the physical realm here. And then we have the other more in this, again, psyche, mental, things that you're thinking about, your, inner dialogue, things that are your mental health, that kind of thing. So I think this maybe is related to this love relationship because you're thinking about them a lot. This one especially makes me think that this is somebody heavily in your mind. But then they show up over here in the physical. So I almost feel like you maybe live together. Okay. And I think this is somebody, I wonder if, and I'm looking at some of these little, I feel like I've seen a few scattered little animals in here. But especially right here, there's this seated figure, and it makes me think of like somebody in a very like devotional, in a devotional posture, looking towards the left, looking towards the past a bit, from the present into the past. And I get this feeling that maybe there is some element of anxiety about a health issue with the person that you care for, that you love, the person that is maybe your person in life, your partner, or somebody you're dating. I feel like there is just this question of maybe some kind of, it seems like some kind of health thing. And I'm wondering if it has to do, it feels to me, and I'm seeing there's just some of these figures and where they are in the physical. You turn this over and I look at it again, it almost looks like a serpent that way. But it feels like it's something in the core. So this would be back, digestive system, or maybe I want to say, it seems like it might be a spinal problem or a digestive problem, mostly in the stomach though. Okay. So, that's something to look for. And this is going to be somebody who has a V name or some kind of descriptive quality about them that could start with a V, or maybe their work is within a V, or just something that relates to that V. Okay, I mean, it might be an A, but I think it's more of it speaks to me as being the V more than an A. And I see this little animal, and this is that V again we're looking at, but on its side here. And I see this little animal, and it looks like it's coming out of this cave. And it's kind of gazing up, and there are these little flying, birds, bats, whatever they are. And then over here, I get this beautiful image of a person standing. They have some kind of bow and arrow, and it looks like they are, and now that bow looks like it's backwards, but just stick with me. And they're shooting up at these flying creatures, okay? And so what does that mean? These flying little beings, or birds, bats, butterfly, they don't look like butterflies, but some kind of something in the sky, right? Low enough that they could get it with a bow, low enough that this animal emerging from the cave could look out at them. I get the impression that these are like thoughts, these are communications that are coming through to you. I feel like there's just been this element of trying to problem solve whatever this current ordeal is, and these ideas are being shot down just one after another, right? And I think almost to a point, it's like they're getting shot down before they're even tested or, explored really in any serious way. So I feel like this animal that's emerging over here, it kind of makes me think of kind of coming out of this very safe, warm place that you've kind of had like a little nest together. You've been able to feel secure, and actually just there's a lack of stimuli from the outside world that you feel like you're very much in your own reality with your person. Okay. But because of these things happening, and because it seems like they have not been very very into like participating or communicating with you about things in a serious way, or they've been avoidant, and that has caused you some anxiety, but it also has made you have to emerge from this safe place that you've created with them. And it is almost kind of like this awakening or revelation that things are maybe a little bit more serious than you understood, or that even if they aren't serious, it really makes you worry about if something serious were to happen in the future, that you and your partner maybe wouldn't be on the same page, or maybe you haven't developed the communication skills with one another during these like periods of crisis where you feel comfortable coming together and really plainly talking about the facts, the feelings, and the planning and executing those plans, okay? And not only that, it could be that you just don't agree with them. And hear me out, this might not be your situation, but I know that in some situations, somebody who's been ill just doesn't want to go to the doctor, or doesn't want to seek further medical intervention, or they're just not willing to do all of the different things to figure out what's going on exactly. They just, maybe they don't like going to a doctor. Maybe they don't, want to know. It's easier just not to know. Or there's an element of fear. And that can be really frustrating because you care about this person and they're just unwilling to, in your mind, take care of themselves. But in their mind, it's like self-preservation. They just rather go about their business. Doesn't feel that serious yet to them. And, in your mind, it's more like, let's get this figured out before it gets worse. So that could be, a real eye-opener within a relationship if you haven't dealt with something like that before, and you didn't know that this is how the person would react to any kind of, their medical issues or what have you. And so this might also make you feel like this is like a time for me to kind of take note of this. Maybe not a time to make any decisions, but a time to take note and to think about this at a later time when things have been sorted a little bit. Okay. And now I wanted to show you this little serpent we have here. And I think this just reiterates to me that kind of awakening that is going on. We also have this other serpent here that I had mentioned before. And I think that these just are good examples of, or they're good symbols of this knowledge that you're gaining from the situation that's happening. And this is what people say, that you don't really know somebody till you have gone through a health crisis, some kind of tragedy, an emergency situation, a death of a close person, family, friends, whatever it is. You don't really know, or traveling. That's another big one, traveling with somebody. But you don't really know somebody until you've been in these high stress situations. And when you get to know how somebody's going to deal with these things, sometimes it can be a little bit jarring. Okay. And so I wanted to also point out this little lizard. It's getting so late here. I'm doing my reading so late. I feel like I'm just about to fall asleep a little bit. Not because of the reading. I'm enjoying the reading. That's the only thing keeping me going. But I just am tired. It's a Friday here. And you know what? It's the full moon. So I just feel like it's really, really weighing on me, this first full moon of 2023. It just has my mind, body, soul weary, tired, worn out. Okay, so we have this little lizard. The lizard, to me, equates, anyways, this lizard equates to the salamander, and this is the sign of fire, the elemental, animal representation of the element of fire, the elemental of fire. Okay, and so they bring the life, the energies that flow through all things and, breathe life into them. They're the fire, the subtle fires, okay? The electromagnetic pulses that keep us all animated and moving, and, the universe going as it does. And this is always I think anyways, it's a beautiful sign to see. It means that there is some very, very vital life going on. There's an abundance of inspiration, of ability. This is not an ending point. We're not getting towards, that great unknown. Not just yet. Okay, so there is life, and it's snuck into every little thing. And when you look around in the corners and the cracks, in those subtle places, you will see that salamander. Okay, and when you don't see it, then you know you're in trouble. So this is a good sign. This is a happy sign. This is a sign of vitality. I see here another horned animal. I think it looks like a deer, and it is sitting. It looks like it's actually kind of laying down with its head up, and it's just kind of, I get the image of it sitting beneath a tree. This pretty little, thing above its head, its consciousness, its heart, its just beautiful essence, something so serene. And this to me is more of a message that you need to slow it down and you need to rest as well. As much as you want to be there for your person and help them out and kind of pick up some of the slack, trying to help them get on the mend, trying to help manage their, appointments, or, motivating them to do those things, and all of the discussions and the pondering and making plans and research and all the things that go into somebody not feeling well, not being well. It can, even if it's not you directly that is, sick, you as and I'm not going to say you're a caretaker, but the partner of somebody going through that. And in some ways you do take care, a little extra care. I'm not getting the feeling that this is somebody who is, very, very unwell. But whatever's going on could become serious, maybe. Okay, so there are the stirrings of something happening. And your regular life has kind of been disheveled a bit. This health thing has been noticeable enough to kind of change the whole atmosphere of the house, of the relationship, of the person, and maybe their personality. But for you, because you are stepping up, a little bit more than usual, you need to remember to rest and take care of yourself so you yourself are not getting worn out, tired, and sick. You need to keep that immune system well. You need to sleep, get as much sunlight as possible, stay hydrated. All the things that your mom friend, who is me, is going to tell you to do. Okay, so take your daily vitamins and, if you have time to do a little meditation. And when things get a little difficult, I know it's easy to forget the things to be grateful for. We take them for granted. I am, guilty of that, even sometimes more even when things are going so well. Okay. I forget to have a lot of gratitude, but, when things are, beginning to get, maybe a little worrisome, scary, your daily habits are affected and so on, it's easy to forget about those gratitudes. And so, Scorpio, I would challenge you to keep a little list of gratitudes, and every day maybe write 2 or 3 things that you are grateful for in that day, in that moment. And that's just a nice practice to keep you grounded, keep you out of the muck as much as possible. Okay. And this one is almost kind of silly. It reminds me of like a little flying monkey. Okay. So I feel like life is maybe giving you a couple little challenges. This is not anything that is super, just a little mischief, right? A few misplaced things, maybe you had a flat tire, maybe, but see, now it's funny because I'm trying to think, this is up in the spiritual realm almost, but also in the mind. So I feel like it's like almost tied to you've been a little forgetful, maybe misplacing things are going missing, but not in a way that like somebody's taking them or anything intentional. It's almost kind of like that, like the trickstery kind of fae kind of energy where you put your keys and they're there, but they disappear and you look and look and look. And then finally at some point they show back up, but it doesn't make any sense, right? Something like that. So it's not super harmful stuff, just inconvenient. And I think you've had at least a couple of little things happening like that. Now this other one I'm going to look at here looks like a flamingo, okay? And what can I say about a flamingo? It makes me think of the summer. Actually, the thing that I really, I think this really connects to this reading, is that when I think of a flamingo, I think of how they eat. The fish that they eat change them into that pink color that we know of flamingos. So they're actually not that color, but the fish that they eat change the pigment in their feathers or whatever. And so I think this is a good meditation on just being very conscious of the things you're consuming, Not just eating, but the media you're consuming, also the self-talk, the things you're thinking about, the things that you're telling yourself, the things that other people are saying to you. And I think, when you're going through a period of stuff like you might be going through right now, it's important to, and I'm not saying just like only surround yourself with people who are always like super positive, and I mean that gets tedious as well, but I feel like making sure that you are setting boundaries. You don't want to hear about a lot of terrible things. You don't want to bring people around or speak to people who are, constantly disparaging each other or hyper focused on all of the, madness in life and everything's falling apart and, the news, especially stuff like that. That's all they talk about, stuff like, I think that kind of stuff. And we all have those people in our lives, and God bless them, right? But when you're going through something and you're trying not to get run down, it's so important to be really mindful of what you are allowing your mind, body, soul to digest, okay? And a lot of that is going to be delivered to us through the things we're listening to on, I was going to say the radio, but who the heck's listening to you can tell I'm a little bit older. But, podcasts or whatever, or news, watching whatever you're watching on TV. Is it all doom and gloom? And just the people that we're allowing around ourselves in our personal life, if they just are those kinds of people who are always talking bad about other people or, just always wound up about whatever is going on in politics or, whatever, sometimes you just gotta shut that stuff off. You have to mute them people. Don't answer the messages or do it politely and, just set some boundaries. Give yourself a break, write those gratitude lists, right? And just kind of try to bring into yourself the things that are going to color your feathers, right? So, calming, breathing, it doesn't have to all be super like new agey or, very like spiritual forward. That's not what I'm saying. Or self-help. Doesn't have to be any of that stuff, but just things that make you feel at ease, things that make you feel at home, things that make you feel cozy, things that make you feel like you can rest, right? All of that is going to do so much more for you than anything else. I think, when we go through these challenging periods, it's easy to indulge in things that are not going to benefit us. And that also leads me to, just the things that, and I know I said this isn't just about like actually what you're eating, but when you get stressed out, we all have a tendency, we go back to, I quit smoking a long time ago, but, and I get headaches from it, so I don't have the urge, but I can understand, wanting to have a smoke or maybe drinking too much or whatever it is, or overeating or eating things that make you feel icky or, stuff that fast foods, whatever it is. Okay. I'm not going to get, not precisely what is what, but that's my thing, is just the eating the sweets and the salty foods and that kind of thing when I'm just, eating my feelings and all of that. But so those are things to think about. Okay. So I'm not saying any drastic changes. I'm just saying moderation, tempering ourselves, and not getting too reckless because of the stress that's going on. Okay, and I just wanted to point this out. There's a big exclamation mark, and I think that just, you know, cements the my message right there. Just okay, so let me look at the saucer. We're getting on in time again. Some of these are getting longer videos, I think. Okay, so let's see what we have. This one's interesting because it kind of just is in here, just right across, if you can see that. Or all the way up. So I really see kind of this pathway. It seems so, it seems very symmetrical. It seems like, you know, just like kind of stepping, like tracks. It also could be like it reminds me of a ladder. So I feel like, and this wouldn't surprise me, Scorpio, because you all are very detail-oriented people. It's all about the little details for you. And I think that probably, and I don't know this to be true, because I'm going to be honest, I don't know a lot of, I only know of Scorpios really on paper, but I don't know, consciously know a lot of Scorpio, especially like solar, but I don't even know about the lunar. Solar Scorpios, I think that you all are probably planners. I know a couple of the Scorpios I know are artists and have very like meticulous artwork. So it's like, I just get this idea that this is all about details for you. I think really making a plan about how you want to get through this thing that's going on, that's really going to help you back into your power and feeling a sense of control, which I think is also very important for you. Having some kind of clear idea. And now, I think the thing going on is not directly you. I don't think you're the one with the health issue, but it's somebody close to you, probably a romantic partner. And this can be a very touchy place to be because it's not really your choice what they decide to do, is it? So you can make all the plans you want, but you kind of are left to the decisions of the person that you are related to, but also the whims of the health situation in general, right? So I think it's important to make these plans, but also to be flexible, to make alternative plans. And I think that just, you know, having kind of this like a more general idea and do little incremental groupings of goal setting and plan setting and all of that. I think also just, you know, not trying to assert your need to be in control of their situation is important. I know that I feel like it could be easy for you to want to just get in there and kind of take over with that stuff. And, you know, I understand that being like a mother and like a wife and whatnot. And even previous to this relationship, I personally am the type of person that I will make all the appointments and, you know, want to know all the details and have an idea of how this is going to play out or what are the options, you know, and I want to be right in there, all of the almost micromanaging things sometimes, and that can be stressful for the person that is going through the situation, right? And it's hard to just kind of be their support and not step on their feet. And so there's a big, you know, need. It's a need to really figure out how you can do that and, you know, not unravel yourself, okay, with worry or stress. So I think another thing that would be good for you is to read about some of these things, read about, you know, just go on Google and kind of look into, you know, what can you do as a, you know, a healthy support person for somebody who's going through something like this. And I think doing that kind of research, doing those kind of readings, that's also going to help you and give you that knowledge and the tools, and also a sense of understanding, which lends, you know, some kind of power or control over the situation, you know, to get more comfortable in that role. Okay, so this wasn't the happy love reading I thought it was going to be at the beginning, but nonetheless, I think that, you know, you're going to be okay. And I didn't see anything about anything, you know, any outcome. Okay. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I really appreciate you coming and watching this reading. I appreciate you spending time with me. And if you would like to like the video, that would be wonderful. Subscribe to the channel. I hope the next round of Scorpio will be a little bit happier. The other thing that you can do is look at your natal chart. If you don't know off the top of your head, find your other positions, go and watch those videos. So if you're like a solar Scorpio and you're like an Aquarius moon lunar sign, go watch the Aquarius. Take from these readings what resonates with you and kind of put them together, and you'll have a more dynamic understanding. Because you know what, these readings, some of them have great narratives and it all kind of comes together. Sometimes it's a little more choppy and there's a little bit of stuff here, a little bit, and maybe you know, only a couple things resonate with you. Okay, so watch some of the other readings for your other positions, and you might find some other stuff that really speaks to you. And that's what this is all about, finding things that are going to make you think and feel and you know, help you process whatever it is that is happening in your life. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Scorpio. We will talk again soon. And what's the other thing? Oh, leave a comment for me. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know how you're doing, what's resonating with you, what kinds of things you're seeing in the cup. I always love hearing from you all. And yes, I appreciate you so much. We will be back again together in just a few days. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.